From Cichy Stadium in Fargo, North Dakota. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Jed Thomas, alongside of my partner, Shanley teacher, Mr. Finch, as we're getting set for North Dakota High School girls softball action as the Shanley Deacons get ready to take on the Devil's Lake Firebirds. And well, folks, it is truly a beautiful day for softball, and I'm not lying. It is much nicer than the last time we were on air. We got the sun out, great temperatures, some wind blowing in, but all in all, I can't complain. How about you, Mr. Finch?
No, Jed, it's just beautiful out here. It's a great day for some softball, wind blowing in a little bit from right field, but I think today is going to be a day where the Deacon bats wake up.
Absolutely, and they could use it after their last game against Fargo North. They had a tough time getting the offense going. They came on towards the end of the game, got a big home run from Krista Schanzenbach that broke through. Big 3-run homer from her in that last matchup. It was not enough, though, as they ended up ultimately falling 9-3. I see better things for them, though, this afternoon. I see those bats waking up, like you said. I think we're going to see a little more even pitching. Definitely some better fielding from them. I just see a cleaner game. What do you think?
Agreed. I had the opportunity to speak with Maria Sorensen after the game on Tuesday, and she was excited that they got all of their errors out of the way in one game, and they put that behind them. So we look forward to some slick fielding, some quick innings, and some runs on the board for the Deacons as they're ready to take the field.
Absolutely, and it's all going to be about how they start here. They started that game in such a tough way. They really put themselves in a hole early on. They don't want to be doing that here this afternoon. They want to get going early, and here we go as Callie Schanzenbach lets the opening pitch go for ball number 1. Pitch number 2 from Callie Schanzenbach, up and just outside. And at the bat right now for Devils Lake is Abby Johnson, the junior pitcher for the Firebirds. They're going to be looking for a big day out of her. And no doubt the toughest task for Abby Johnson will probably be stopping Gabby Nelson, who is red hot for Shanley.
Gabby's really put together a fantastic year, 4 for 4 on Tuesday. Another great game last night against West Fargo. Great talent at first base and a real leader for the Deacons.
Well, right off the bat, it is a walk for Schanzenbach as that final pitch goes well over the head of the catcher. Hopefully just getting out some of those wild pitches early on. Better to do it early than have that troubling you later in the game.
Well, and I think that's just it, Jed. She's getting warmed up. She's thrown some innings this week. Get the shoulder loosened up and that ball start to find the zone. But Devils Lake's doing a good job of being patient here and taking the base if it's offered.
Aggressive starting strategy here from a batter without a jersey, it appears, just a plain black shirt. So I'm not sure who that is, but starting off with the bunt, and now here goes Abby Johnson. Oh, and she's caught in a pickle between first and second. Johnson, great job getting around Nelson, and they call her safe.
Great play by Gabby Nelson to stay on top of the runner. She got back to the bag safely, avoided the tag, but then left the base and was tagged out by Gabby Nelson. Heads up play by the Deacons.
No kidding. That appears to be what happened. Great catch, Mr. Finch. I'm not kidding. When that happened, I actually thought Gabby Nelson was giving a little shove after the play, which was very surprising, uncharacteristic as this bunt goes down the foul line, and we've got safe at first base, an unnamed batter. We'll try to get a name on her. But anyway, yeah, very confused by that play with Gabby Nelson, and like you said, it wasn't poor sportsmanship at all. It was just great awareness to tag her as the runner had a foot off the base. Excellent start for Shanley there.
Excellent start. That was almost a hidden ball trick, except we knew where the ball was.
Those are the sorts of plays that they have been lacking in some of their losses. Like we said the last time we were on air covering Shanley softball, they did not get too many easy outs like that. Pitch from Schanzenbach, up and outside, as again, Devils Lake early on. All right, I do believe that is Cassidy Sanderson at first base, as she takes a large lead there, looking to take second. But yeah, Cassidy Sanderson, the junior outfielder, believe on first.
And that was a fantastic bunt by her. I don't think we've talked about that, but she deserves credit for that bunt. That was fantastic. She laid it right down, sat right on the line. It's a base hit.
Ball fouled up high and away, back behind the batter. As we've got a 2-2 count with 1 out so far in the top of the first inning. low pitch from Schanzenbach that grazes the feet of our batter, and that's going to advance her to first. And now we've got runners on first and second. And Morgan Anderson going to take that any day of the week.
Yeah, and Schanzenbach on that one, I think, she's trying to throw a strike there, still getting loosened up. Batter shows bunt, trying to give you an out, and now she's at first. So we're going to, swing away.
Solid contact made, but a better grab by Elena Linster, who got a little wild with that throw to first. Gabby Nelson, excellent job stretching out the arm and grabbing that ball.
Good play by the Shanley infield. Good aggressive throw across. Good adjustment by Gabby Nelson at first base to make sure that didn't go to the backstop.
And we've got another ball going off of a batter that's going to load the bases here.
Looks like the batter's going to be okay, but that one sounded like it might have hurt.
Yeah, the first one just appeared to graze, but Jenna Fee got clipped just a little bit there. She looks like she's shaking it off, though. And now a very tough spot for Schanzenbach with the bases loaded. And you never want to load the bases yourself. She's advanced two of these runners with beam balls that she probably wants back. And that can kind of get in your own head. Big swing here. That's going to help the confidence.
Yeah, this is a big hitter, obviously, for the Deacons to see if we can get this one, get back into the dugout with no harm done.
Contact made, but it's fouled back off the bat of... This is Cassidy Sanderson. My apologies.
This is Cassidy. Okay.
The runner in black, I am now told, is Avery Swenson. So I think we've got it all figured out, folks. It's the first inning. Cut me a little slack. Hopefully I'll figure things out.
All right. Avery's a shortstop for Devil's Lake.
That is correct.
All right.
As now we've got the bases loaded still. 2-2 count, 2 outs. Pitch from Schanzenbach is fouled back. And Sanderson showing some power here. You can tell if she gets a clean hit on that ball, it's going to travel quite a ways. It's just about actually making that contact.
And this might be one of those counts here where Schanzenbach pulls out that changeup of hers. The last two have looked like they've been fastballs. Ooh, same pitch.
Maybe she was thinking Sanderson was expecting the changeup.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I was thinking. So she
fooled you.
She would have gotten me.
Yeah. Cassidy Sanderson, too smart that time, as looks like she's going to have another foul ball here. Spending a long time at this at-bat, and she's okay with that. The longer the at-bat goes for the batter, they're fine with that. It's the pitcher who that can really start to get to.
This is one of those plays where the Deacons are going to want to be on their toes. This is that ball gets to the outfield, you're going to want to know where you're going with it before. Nice pitch.
And the outfielders don't even have to worry about it.
They know more than I do.
Schanzenbach gets the big swing from Sanderson, and that is strikeout number 1 for her. And what a recovery from Schanzenbach, Mr. Finch. The bases loaded, hit 2 batters there to load those bases up. Looked like a tough spot, and she finds a way out of it.
Yeah, great job. Scuffed up a couple shoes, and that was really all the damage in that half inning.
Absolutely. So now we will get our first look at the Deacon offense here this afternoon. The defense starting great already. That's about as good of an inning as you can ask for, just keeping them off the board. And again, the big thing I'm looking for Shanley on offense is Gabby Nelson and whether or not Devil's Lake can slow her down. At the same time, though, can she get some help around her, see if that supporting cast can step up and get some girls on base for Nelson to drive home?
Interesting thing about slowing down Gabby Nelson, had a chance to speak with her yesterday, and she mentioned in the Tuesday game she was called for something that she'd never been called for in her entire softball career. She was stepping into the box, and the umpire called a ball before a pitch had been thrown, and she asked what had happened, and he said, "You took too long to get in the box. That's ball 1." And she said, "I've been playing varsity softball since I was a 7th grader, and it's never been called." So she's still a little confused as to how that happened, but maybe that's how you stop Gabby.
Well, there you go. Those are the interesting facts of information. That's why we bring you in, Mr. Finch. Ultimate professional doing your research.
I do my best.
Well, we'll have to watch and see if any situations like that arise.
Just start her with 2 strikes. Level the playing field a little bit.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Maybe we're biased, though.
Yeah, that maybe a little bit.
Devils Lake's defense is certainly nothing to scoff at, though. Abby Johnson, a more than capable pitcher. These girls don't make a lot of errors. They've got experience. They know what they're doing, as now Elena Linster is out there as the leadoff batter for Shanley. Her threat is base running. She just wants to find a way to get on, and then she really does her damage.
A little interesting looking at the Devils Lake alignment in the outfield here. We've got a right fielder that's about 5 steps off the right field line. If Linster could put a ball past the second baseman here, she'd probably have an inside the park home run.
Well, unfortunately, that time she can't get past the third baseman as she's thrown out at first. So Linster unable to get on and show off her skills on base. Maria Sorensen, though, next up in the order. We'll see what she can do.
Great play by Jenna Fee on that ball.
Indeed, it was a good throw from third to first. As Sorensen immediately goes to the bunt and then backed off at the last second. Able to get the ball that time. Well played by the senior. Pitch from Johnson. The bunt is successful for Sorensen. Going all out. And did that stay fair? No, it did not. Good speed that time, though, from Sorensen.
Good speed. If that stayed fair, that's an easy base hit.
She'll take a moment to get set up again. We'll see if she goes back to the well with that bunt. Pitch from Johnson is up and away and just outside. Making it 2-1 now with 1 out. Sorensen going to foul this one back. Up and over her own bench.
Well, Maria's right on that ball. She fouled that one straight back, just missed it by an inch. I'd like to see her get something out to the outfield and turn on the Jets.
Yeah, a lot of speed in these first 2 batters for Shanley, and obviously that's what you want at the top of your order, as we do have a strike, and a strike out that time. As Sorensen will head off. Strikeout number 1 for Johnson, and out number 2 in this inning. So here is Gabby Nelson, the aforementioned Gabby Nelson. Been talking a lot about her. We'll see if she can live up to the lofty expectations we've placed on her.
She did not like that pitch.
No, she did not. Be great for the confidence of this Firebird team to get her out and end this first inning quick. Not have to think about her for a while. And Johnson doesn't look too intimidated right now. She's just doing her thing. And whoa! That's not what you want if you're Devils Lake. Gabby Nelson living up to the hype with an absolute bomb of a solo home run. And Mr. Finch, I was a little worried. We talked so much about her in the pregame. I thought we were going to put too much hype behind her, and I'm starting to think that might not be possible.
Well, and to simplify, she liked that pitch.
Very well said, Mr. Finch. That's about all there is to it. That was just a pretty hit right there. I mean, it doesn't get much more picturesque than that. She's probably just wishing she had a few girls in front of her on base.
Yeah, that's correct. That's fun. That's just fun.
And perhaps the most important thing is the way they've started now, already getting a run here, whereas it's taken them a while to get going in other games. They've got a run already. They stopped Devils Lake at the start of the inning. This is just a much better start for them than we saw.
Agreed.
2 outs, 1-0 count here for Remke. Remke is dangerous as well, and there you see it. A nice bounce goes over the third baseman. Remke going to have to hold up at first. But now Shanley's getting it going. 2 early outs to start this inning, and all of a sudden they're off to the races. The pitcher, Callie Schanzenbach, is up to bat now. Teresa Weigel going to come in to pinch run for Shanley.
Gabby Nelson doing everything, including giving the umpire another ball.
Maybe trying to get some goodwill, get a couple calls to go her way.
Sure.
Nothing wrong with grease in the wheels a little bit.
Not at all.
As Weigel look to take off that time. One OR count as Schanzenbach lets that one go. And folks, we do want to apologize if you've experienced any buffering issues with the stream. We think we've got that issue resolved, but again, if you've been experiencing that, we're sorry, as Teresa Weigel going to take off to second base, and she was looking to do that the whole time she was on first. There's a reason they bring her into pinch run.
Nice heads-up base running play there, getting herself into scoring position, moving from first to second.
1-2 the count, Schanzenbach.
Good eye.
Very good eye that time. Pitch came in looking low, but then elevated, and she knew to let it go by. Schanzenbach lets another go, but it's a strike as it's in and out of the glove of the catcher. Thought they might have hope for a minute there, but Devils Lake ends the inning. Still, though, very successful inning for the Deacons. 1-0. It's more than manageable for the Firebirds, but Shanley got to be happy with the way they've started. Definitely a confidence booster.
Well, yeah, getting into that jam in the top of the first there, loading the bases up, getting out of that with the strikeout, and then that laser shot by Gabby Nelson to left center. That's how you draw it up if you're the coach.
Precisely. And, you know, the other way to look at it is things can really only get better if you're Callie Schanzenbach and the defense. You know, the two hit batters and loading the bases, a lot of balls thrown. You know, knowing Callie Schanzenbach, I think she's definitely going to improve as this game goes on. And it's like Maria Sorensen said, she was happy to get their errors out of the way in that game earlier this week. Schanzenbach happy to get some of those wild pitches out in the first inning would be my guess. I think we're going to see a much more controlled approach here.
Yeah, agreed. And, you know, it's one of those things, too, where you can't be afraid to put the ball over the plate. You know, let Devils Lake take their swings, let your defense work for you. Sometimes you know, especially on Tuesday when the ball, you know, there were several balls that I think admittedly should have been caught on Tuesday. And, you know, it's one of those things where as a pitcher, when that happens, you start to develop the mentality that you need to strike everybody out. And you start pitching to edges, and edges sometimes are hard to hit. So, you know, sometimes it's putting the ball over the plate, maybe letting the opposition hit the ball and let your teammates go to work.
All right, well, Devils Lake back up to bat. Abby Olsen will start this inning off for the Firebirds. Here's the first pitch of the second inning from Callie Schanzenbach, and it is a ball. Abby Olsen, the senior. Schanzenbach, just a sophomore for Shanley, as Olsen makes some good contact, headed toward left field, and it's just past the glove that time of Sorensen. Olsen will hold up at first. Wanted to test the waters for second, but a good reaction that time by the infield to shut that one down.
Yeah, it was a good job of backing up Maria on that play and corralling the ball and getting it in, holding her to a single.
Sorensen that time just did not quite have the right angle running down that ball. She was coming at it almost diagonally, not where you want to be. She had to put the glove out to her side a bit too much and just couldn't get everything lined up. Low pitch from Schanzenbach just finds its way inside the strike zone.
I do appreciate that the Deacons play pretty much straight away, regardless if it's a left-hander or a right-handed batter that's at the plate. Not a lot of shifting going on with the Deacons.
That is true. They stay pretty consistent with the way they format this defense. As now Krogfoss is looking at a 1-2 count. No outs yet. And now make that 2-2 as the high pitch will even things up. Low pitch from Schanzenbach goes for a ball. That'll load things up to a full count. Olsen on first, looking to take off. Pitch away from Schanzenbach, just outside. And Krogfoss will take her base. Runners now on first and second, and still no outs. Bridget Harkness, the freshman catcher, at the plate for Devils Lake. It's been a very successful start to the inning as that ball goes outside the glove of the catcher, bounces off the umpire, and allows Olsen to advance to third. That could have been a lot worse had it not gone off the ump. Now some hand signals that time between Remke and Schanzenbach. Schanzenbach lets this one go. Great job getting the big-time swing. And that one changed up quite a bit on its way in. High pitch goes for a ball.
Who is this that's at the plate for Devil's Lake, Jed?
That would be Bridget Harkness, Mr. Finch.
Bridget Harkness resembles Justin Smoke of the Toronto Blue Jays when she's in the box. That's almost an identical mirror image of his swing.
I will take your word on that one.
And I mean that as a compliment.
All right. Some of you more true baseball fans listening at home probably getting that one more than myself. That's why we bring you in, Mr. Finch. You're the expert. I'm just here to narrate. As now we're looking at a full count for Bridget Harkness. Pitch is away. Harkness lets it go, but maybe shouldn't have, as that's going to be a strike and a strikeout, but Shanley caught sleeping as Carly Krogfoss is going to advance to second, and that's a great job by Krogfoss to salvage the strikeout.
Well, and good base running by her. She probably should have been to second on that pass ball when her teammate went to third. So good job to make up for that.
Big contact down the middle, but a great grab by Linster. Little hesitation, able to get it to first, though. And then Nelson, had the right idea going back to third, trying to keep the runner true, but that ball went off the glove of Schanzenbach. And while all that was going down, we had a runner score, so it is 1-1 now.
Nice defensive play by the Deacons. Gabby Nelson taking the opportunity to throw back across the diamond to third to try to catch that runner sleeping.
Some more good contact. Takes an awkward bounce off the second baseman, Seafelt. And now we've got another runner home and a gal on first. That is Avery Swenson. And boy, all of a sudden, some troubles for Shanley. That time, an unfortunate bounce goes off the shoulder of Seafelt. Bunt being shown and then pulled off at the last minute that time by Morgan Anderson. Anderson will show bunt again, then backs off once again.
You know, Jed, for as beloved as Cichy Stadium is, I think some of those ground balls are maybe a little bit more difficult to field on this turf than maybe on a dirt or an egger line surface.
I would have to agree with you, Mr. Finch. No doubt.
Bit of a Super Bowl effect out there, I've noticed.
I would definitely agree. No doubt they're happy to have the turf, but it's pretty slick out there. That ball moves fast, and like you said, it bounces quite a bit, so it can be difficult. At the same time, though, you can try and use that to your home field advantage, as not a ton of teams play on turf, and they may not be used to fielding on this plain surface. Pitch from Schanzenbach. Wild past the glove of the catcher, and for a minute there, we had the runner advancing to second, but now she's headed back. I'm not quite sure why that is. That may have gone off the bat, actually. And it looks like that was the call, as now we have the same scenario. And still a 1-2 count. Finally, contact just over the glove of Seafelt. It's now going to be chased down in right field. Here it comes to third. We got the runner safe. And Schanzenbach threatens towards first. But Anderson will head back, content with that single. And it took her a while, but Anderson was able to make contact. Bit of an awkward swing, but she'll take it any way she can get it. Great job getting power behind that.
Well, and I think, I agree with you. Showing the bunt, pulling it back, and then actually singling to right field it's a difficult task. There's a lot of movement. the less movement in your swing, typically the higher rate of success. And Morgan Anderson overcame that.
Sun is back out after dipping behind a cloud for just a minute, as now Schanzenbach puts this one low and inside for a strike. Runners on first and third here for Shanley, and Remke's going to have to be oh so careful back there. A lot of balls have been getting past her, and she can't have that happen now. Ball straight into the dirt, bounces foul.
You know, back in the day, Jed, the Baltimore Orioles were known for packing the dirt in front of home plate harder than any other surface in Major League Baseball, and a hit like that used to be referred to as the Baltimore chop. You'd hit it into the dirt, and it would bounce so high that by the time you came down, you were on first base.
Well, I don't know what that was, but that's a ball off the back of the batter that time, as now we've got another hit batter for Schanzenbach, number 3, and taking her base is Tiffany Robbins. So now we've got loaded bases for Devils Lake. They've been doing great work on 2 outs for a while here, as they now lead 2-1, and Remke was testing third base, but we got that runner safe. Schanzenbach trying to work her way out of a sticky situation, as she got that one inside for a strike. Blast down the center is going to get by the glove of Kuhneman, and this is bad for Shanley. Devils Lake going to bring multiple girls home. It's just about everybody. A double for the Firebirds and a lot of runs scored. And how about Jenna Fee driving in 2 runners at least, and then making it to second herself.
You know, Jenna Fee, the freshman, having a big game so far today. Impressive hit up the middle. Good effort by Shanley to knock that one down. And that ball was hit hard, made it to the wall. Jenna probably could have gotten to third on that one if she'd given it a shot.
Yeah, you know, I think just being a little cautious with the 2 outs here, is now Shanley's going to look to end the inning with an easy out at first, and they're content to do that. And there's the scoreboard updating. Yeah, she drove home 3 girls that time. 3 runs batted in on that one for Jenna Fee. And that's quite the inning, quite the start to the second inning here for Devils Lake. They go from down 1-0 to up 5-1, and the script of this game has flipped. Well, it's been completely turned on its head, really, as all of a sudden Shanley is in quite the hole. And Mr. Finch, you know, I've got to give you credit. Before this game started, you looked down at the roster and you called Jenna Fee. You said, I think she's going to have a big game, and you could not have been more correct.
Well, you know, Jed, I like to spend a little time in the stands just sort of scouting the opposing team as they come in to see what we're up against. And, you know, Jenna today looked like she was locked in, and so far that's come to fruition at the plate.
I tell you what, you and I are going to go buy lottery tickets when this one's over. Well, this is going to be an important inning for Shanley. I mean, obviously, after going down like that, allowing 5 runs at the top of the second, I think it's going to be really important they score here. Obviously, there's a ton of game left to work with, but you want to see some more. You want to see some offense out of the Deacons just to show that they can keep up with the pace of the Firebirds if this is what Devils Lake does for the rest of the afternoon.
Agreed, and I think this is another opportunity here with you know, some speed coming up. Let's put some people on base. Like on Tuesday, let's start forcing the Devils Lake to make some plays, put the ball in play.
Absolutely. Krista Schanzenbach is at the plate to start. She lets that one go by for a strike. And Schanzenbach, she's got a little bit of everything. She can do damage running the bases, but she's also got the power to get these balls past the fence. So you got to watch for her, as now we are looking at a 1-1 count in the bottom of the second. High pitch from Johnson. Just past the face of Schanzenbach that time. Schanzenbach checks the swing. Proves to be a good decision, as we're looking at a 3-1 count. And high once again from Johnson. Schanzenbach looking at a 3-1 count now, apparently. Our apologies. And now she does swing. It's going to drop just in front of the left fielder. She's testing for second. A bold decision, but it's going to pay off as the throw from the outfield was just a little off target. Schanzenbach goes pedal to the metal that time, and it pays off.
I like that play by Krista. That's forcing Devils Lake to do a few things correctly there. And although they actually fielded pretty well and got it in, her speed got her to second base.
And those are the sorts of aggressive plays that they need, as Johnson put a little change up on that ball. Got Triggs to bite. Triggs going to make contact, goes straight to the second baseman, and then she's thrown out at first, but it will advance Schanzenbach. And now it will be Anna Seefeld at the plate with an opportunity to bring Schanzenbach home with only one out. And that pitch is just a little high and outside. Good vision from Seefeld. That's one thing she does very well. Anna Seefeld has got very good vision at the plate. She's very patient with her bat, as that time she does make the wrong call. Ball finds its way just inside. Seefeld yet to swing as she lets that one go by for a ball. And now she does swing, but straight into the glove of the first baseman, who's going to make a throw home that does not make it. And so Shanley does score, and that's what you want to see. Any bit of a response is good here in the bottom of the second.
Exactly. Fielder's choice. Seefeld's out on the fielder's choice, but the run scores. 5-2. And let's start a 2-out rally.
So here is Kuhneman staring down 2 outs. And immediately trying for the bunt that time. Kuhnman going to practice the bunt there. And stays true to it as that ball is in and out of the glove of the catcher. And this is something we saw on Tuesday as well, practicing the bunt.
Well, Jed, I think it's one of those things where, when you have an enhanced skill and you've practiced at it and you have confidence in it, the element of surprise maybe isn't as important as just being technically sound.
Very well said, as it's now a 1-2 count. Again, 2 outs here for the freshman center fielder, and she can't make contact. It's a strike, and that ends the inning. A very successful inning for the Firebirds. They score 5 and only allow 1. And we're looking at a very different game than when we started the inning. Folks, with a little break here, we do want to take a minute to remind you that Shanley TV is made possible in part by the Shanley Athletic Club and their generous members. Check out their website today at shanleyathleticClub.com to learn how your membership contributes to Shanley TV, the Deacon Den, and many other student-athlete needs. While you're there, be sure to renew your annual membership by clicking the Join Now button or become a member if you're not one already. It's easy to become a member and anyone can join, so sign up today. The Shanley Athletic Club, taking Deacon athletics to a higher level. And so it's the Shanley defense back out there. Now, before the start of the second, I made a prediction of sorts. I said I thought Schanzenbach was going to settle in more. We'd see more controlled pitching, and that wasn't so much the case. Now part of that was just really strong batting by Devils Lake. They've got some good hitters, but we still saw Schanzenbach hit one batter, saw a few of those wild balls. Something to work on here in the third. Again, I certainly believe she can get things under control. Plenty of innings left to work with. It's just you want to start doing that sooner rather than later. They really can't have another 5-run inning. I mean, that's just a given.
Yeah, agreed. It would be great to see a 1-2-3 inning and get those bats going again. Let's see what she can do with this first hitter from Devils Lake.
Well, right off the bat, contact is made, but it goes straight to Krista Schanzenbach, who throws the batter out at first. That time, it was Abby Olson who didn't get a shot. And boy, Krista Schanzenbach, all credit where credit is due. She's really accurate from that third base spot. But Gabby Nelson, it's pretty hard to miss her. She's got great range with that glove. I mean, not only is she tall enough to reach out with it, but she's just very athletic and can grab a lot of balls that some girls can't get.
Well, and from the left side of the infield, it gives you great confidence that you can field that ball cleanly and you don't have to rush because if you get that throw over that Gabby probably is coming up with that ball. And maybe an advantage to this type of field turf is that, you can bounce the ball over there if you need to. You'll get a more true hop on a throw from third or from short to first base.
Schanzenbach with a ball there to make it a 1-2 count. Wind has died down a little bit, but it's still blowing infield as this ball skips over the glove of Remke. Krogfoss at the plate. Looking at a 2-2 count, now looking at a full count with one out. And ball number 4, just a little low. Krogfoss takes her base.
Krogfoss doing her best Barry Bonds impersonation with her second walk of the day. Very patient, waiting for something in the zone. She didn't get it, so she's on first base.
Barry Bonds, I did get that reference. And here, a bit of an awkward swing, chased down by Nelson, who took an odd fall there as she was pulling up at the last second to avoid the catcher. And a lot going on that play. Almost looked like she was showing bunt, then pulled back, then tried to swing at it, and kind of got a half-cocked swing off that shot the ball up in the air.
And we've seen that earlier today from Devils Lake too, and again, this is my.
Well, hold that thought as we've got a runner thrown out at second. Krogfoss gets tossed out, and that's a great play by the Deacons. They're more than happy to take that.
Great play. Nearly turned 2 on that. That was fantastic.
Yeah, quick turnaround that time. And that's what you like to see. The fielding unit looked a little more cohesive here this afternoon. Well, we got a girl taking off. It's Harkness making it to second base now. Abby Johnson is at the plate. The pitcher in batting at the moment. High ball that time from Schanzenbach. Big time swing headed into left field just over the glove of Sorensen, and here we go. Off to the races is Johnson. She'll hold up at second, but not before Harkness makes it home to score for Devils Lake. Make that 6-2 Firebirds.
Yeah, line drive double off the left field wall. That ball was hit with a purpose, and that purpose was to score a run.
Ball that time for Swenson. She'll step back into the batter's box, now showing bunt, and now she'll pull off at the last second, and that'll end up being a strike for her.
And I think the Deacons have a lot of these hitters scouted pretty well. Again, talking to Gabby Nelson the other day, I think we noticed in the game against Fargo North, we had a batter starting to bat left-handed and switch over to the right-hand side of the plate. And like Gabby said, playing this game since she was in 7th grade, she knew that girl cannot hit the ball left-handed. So everybody on the team knew she was bunting. So they basically walked in almost to the pitcher's mound. So, scouting plays a big role in this too, and I think the Deacons do a good job of that.
Yeah, I mean, that's the experience, too, Got a girl like Gabby Nelson who's been around the game for so long. I mean, yeah, like you said, it's doing your homework. It's also having that veteran presence. And, again, that's the veteran presence that the Shanley team was lacking a little bit last year that now they've got with a few more upperclassmen than they had. Blast down the center. Going to be grabbed by Linster and tossed out at first. That's a solid play for Shanley to end the inning. Or at least to end the top of the third there. And only one surrendered. Only one run given up. It's not so bad. I mean, obviously they want to keep it at 0, but their offense has been working at a pace where they can get away with giving up one run here.
Yeah, and overall today the defense has been much, much better. You know, the weather's a little nicer too. We had the rain and it was colder on Tuesday, but overall the Deacons have been much, much sharper in the field.
So Shanley in a favorable spot in the order. They're right at the top. They've got Linster, Sorensen, and Nelson as the first three up here. And that's an area of the order. That's the most dangerous area of the order probably. And they can really do a lot of damage here. They're going to want to take advantage because you only get so many opportunities like that. And I think we're going to see more success than we saw when they started. Linster and Sorensen both got out early, but they're a bit more warmed up now. And Nelson obviously had the big solo bomb way over the fence last time she was up, so we know what she can do. Shanley hasn't had too many girls on base. You know, the one run was scored with the Nelson solo shot, and then other than that, we really haven't gotten to see the star base runners for the Deacons. But that would be Linster and Sorensen, so we'll see. If they can make it on, they'll be fun to watch.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see the Deacons put some pressure on the opposing team defense. And
well, that's a good start as Linster pops this one up in the left field, just over the glove of that left fielder, almost bounced over the wall. Now Linster will hold up at second, and that's as far as she will go. But a great start here, getting Elena Linster on base. Tiffany Robbins was in position, but that ball was just a hair over the glove.
Yeah, nice swing by Linster there. She got a ball just right over the top of her knees. Ball carried really well to left field. The left field flag looks like it's blowing sort of horizontally, just to the north.
Well, you know, Linster, she's such a good base runner. I think you end up underrating her power because she really can pack a punch with that swing, and you saw it that time. I think if the wind were a little different, that one actually might have had the juice to make it.
You know, and that ball was hit hard, but I also wonder if maybe the sun played into that one. I noticed the Devils Lake outfield now is they're collectively wearing sunglasses. We'll see how the Deacons combat that the next inning here.
High pitch from Johnson. Good glove that time to keep it under control. That's Bridget Harkness, the freshman. Johnson low with that one. Sorensen makes contact. It's going to be grabbed in center field. Linster's pressing for home, and she makes it, and the ball is wild past the catcher. Sorensen's going to make it all the way to third, and how about that? The stand-up triple for Maria Sorensen. Elena Linster scores, and the Deacons are in business, down 3 with 0 outs, and Gabby Nelson headed to the plate.
Yeah, here we go. This is what we've been asking for. Runners on base, moving people around, creating some excitement. And again, force the opposition to make plays. You know, you got to catch the ball, throw the ball, catch the ball, and tag somebody to get somebody out there. So great job forcing the action.
Nelson lets that one go for a ball. And this is what I was talking about. This is such a tough part of the order for Shanley. You know, this is a really tough spot for Johnson to be in, starting right off with Linster, Sorensen, and Nelson.
You know, and you begin to wonder here, Jed, whether or not Gabby Nelson is going to continue to see anything that's worth hitting.
And that's a good point, Mr. Finch. They might be content just not really giving her anything to swing at and just letting her walk to first. Well, she gets to swing at that one as she blasts it down into right field, and an error in right field is going to let her around second and maybe make it to third. Here goes Nelson on her way to third. She's going to make it there no problem, and that's where she'll stop as we've got another stand-up triple and another runner home. Make that a 2-run game now, and still no outs for the Deacons.
You know, and on that swing, you saw Gabby Nelson's pull power to right field, and you know, again was it the first inning home run? Yeah, that was opposite field. So you're getting to see the full scope of her skills.
Absolutely. Helped out a bit by that error. Krogfoss just couldn't get the glove on it, as that ball's in and out of the glove, but a good job snagging it there by Harkness. 2-0 count for Remke. Make that 3-0. And Remke can do a lot of damage herself. I mean, all 4 of these first 4 batters are quite good for Shanley. Remke lets it go. Ends up at a 3-1 count. Takes a big hack at it. Makes a little contact for a foul.
It's a nice looking swing there, and looking at how early she's swinging, that should come right down the third base line. Whoop.
Yeah, that one appeared to get away from Johnson a little bit as Remke will take her base.
And this is exactly what we've been looking for. Put runners on base, move some people around. We've already done some damage here. 2 runners on, nobody out.
Teresa Weigel going to come on for Remke. So it's Callie Schanzenbach in the batter's box. Pitcher versus pitcher as Weigel takes off to second, and that's why she pinch runs. Just a tremendous base runner. Schanzenbach makes contact, takes a few bounces. They're going to try and get her out at first, and they do, but not before Gabby Nelson makes it home.
You know, and something's worth mentioning, too. You know, taking that extra base as a pinch runner, getting to second there, on a ball like that, probably just eliminated a double play. You know, on a ball to the shortstop, she steps on second, throws that to first. It's an easy double play if she's not already standing on second.
That's a good point as Weigel looked to take off that time. So that is the first out of the third inning for Devils Lake. Shanley has scored 3 here in the bottom of the third. Krista Schanzenbach looking at just 1 out and a runner on second. High ball that time. And Schanzenbach gets a hold of that one that goes straight into the glove of the third baseman. Weigel doesn't want any part of that. She stays at second. Schanzenbach makes it to first.
A good play over there by Jenna Fee to knock that ball down, too. She probably saved a run, certainly, from second base had that gotten by her.
Triggs not quite checking the swing in time. They'll get her for strike number 1. That time she lets it go, and Johnson puts it high. Devils Lake outfield reorganizing a little bit as Triggs lets this one go into left, and it's snagged out of the air. Good glove from Tiffany Robbins.
Yeah, nice catch out there in left field. Well, let's see if the Deacons can do some 2-out hitting here.
Well, it's Randy Jagger at the plate now. And, yeah, she's got runners on first and second. I mean, it's been a great inning for Shanley, but they'd love to not leave these girls out on base. Oh, 2 count now with 2 outs for Jagger. She's been liking the bunt. She goes for it again. So it's a 1-2 count now as that one went high for the ball. Again, 2 outs, and Jagger cannot make contact. And that'll end the 3rd inning. We head into the 4th with Devils Lake up 1 run over Shanley. Shanley really closing the gap, though. Excellent 3rd. They really can't ask for much more there.
No, it's a strong bottom of the 3rd by the Deacons there. Moving around the bases again. You know, I say it a lot, but you really need to force the action and create opportunities for the defense to make mistakes.
Absolutely, Mr. Finch. As now, I'm going to take a minute with this break to say, folks, if you've enjoyed watching our ShanleyTV.com broadcast, please consider making a donation to help us continue to bring you quality programming. We rely on donations to bring you every broadcast, and we need your help to continue to improve the quality of our productions and to add new features for you, the viewer, to enjoy. If you're interested in donating, please contact Joel Shuey at 701-893-3225. Again, that's Joel Shuey at 701-893-3225. Thank you for watching, and thanks for your support of Shanley TV.
You know, and while we have a moment here in between innings, Jed, you know, I just want to say, you know, what a fan I am of your work here on Shanley TV. You know, as a new teacher coming into the system last year, one of my first really good smiles was Powder Puff football. You know, and I know you probably hear this a lot, but you are an incredible asset to not only Shanley and Shanley TV, but you know, to your class, and as you finish out your senior year here, know that you will be missed, and you're one of a kind.
Well, Mr. Finch, I really appreciate that. Really too kind of you, believe me. But I really appreciate that. Thank you. I will just say real quick before we get back to the game, it has been an absolute privilege, and it's really everyone listening at home. It is because of you guys. So just thank you for giving me this platform for the last 4 years. Thank you, Mr. Finch. Very nice of you and not necessary whatsoever, but I appreciate it.
You're welcome, and get used to it. There'll be several impromptu tributes, I'm sure.
Well, can't say I'm not looking forward to them as this one goes foul down the left line. And, you know, this will be a crucial inning for Schanzenbach because now we're looking at the top of the 4th. We're getting to that halfway part here with, 7 total innings. Schanzenbach really hasn't quite gotten a grip yet. You know, she's still going wild with some of those pitches, although there's a strikeout as she was able to get the swing that time. That's strikeout number 3 for her. But Schanzenbach, maybe she is, starting to get under control here in the 4th. That would be great. There have just been a few too many pitches that have gotten away from her, and I don't think she would deny that. As now we've got a blast high up in the right field. Triggs chasing it down in and out of the glove. It'll end up just being a single, but Triggs probably wants that one back. It looked like it may have moved on her towards the end.
Yeah, it did look like it tailed towards the line a little bit there. She had it lined up, had a beat on it, but once it gets below your belt a little bit, it's much harder to catch a fly ball there than, if you can get under it and watch it all the way in. So tough play there. Good effort. Held her to a single, which is about the best you can hope for on a ball like that.
Absolutely. Schanzenbach goes low with that one.
As we have gone on here too, watching Schanzenbach pitch, it seems like she definitely does have a plan for her hitters. It seems like in the last half an inning to the last few batters, she seems to be executing a little bit more on her locations. So hopefully that's a sign of things to come for her.
It's Jenna Fee at the plate, the freshman. Looking at a 3-1 count, as Schanzenbach might be content walking Fee, who showed off tremendous power in her last at-bat. Schanzenbach goes low. Fee takes her base.
We just can't get her out.
That is absolutely true, Mr. Finch. Fee has been a bit of a menace for the Deacons. As now it's runners on first and second. Only 1 out for the Firebirds. That ball straight into the turf and bouncing out of play for Cassidy Sanderson.
I've been impressed with Devils Lake. They've had some good aggressive at-bats. A lot of first pitch swinging. Get a pitch you like, hit it. Great stop behind the plate.
Yeah, Remke does a good job with that one. She's had a couple get by her, but overall, she's done a good job keeping things under control. They'll call a ball on that one. Schanzenbach goes high that time and ends up a little too high for another ball. And now she's got to be careful. 3-1 count. Don't want to load the bases here. And she does get the swing. Full count now with 1 out. Runners on first and second. Here is the pitch, and this one's popped back into center field. Kinley Kuhneman right on it. She's going to make the throw towards third. Linster going for broke. Straight into the glove of Schanzenbach. They'll call the runner safe, and it was close. Really tough to tell from here. I thought it looked like the right call, but to be honest, I could not see the feed all that well.
Yeah, that's a nice catch out there in center field to make sure that you have that out. And, no harm in throwing through to third base there and trying. But more often than not, the runner is going to make it to third on that play. Good effort by the Deacons, though. But, again, that would take a tremendous throw, catch, and tag to make that play.
It's a good play by Kinley Kuhneman. It's not the toughest ball in the world, but it certainly wasn't easy. And, she had a few struggles earlier in the week, but very confident on that one. Does a good job running it down. It's just a good play by the freshman. High pitch that time. Again, Remke has to put in some work. Does a great job elevating and gloving that one down. That one tipped back for a foul from Abby Olson.
I think in some regard you could consider Schanzenbach to be effectively wild today. The pitch where up above the batter's head and then come back with a strike right on the outside corner. Keep them guessing.
Effectively wild. I like it. It's a good way to put it. And now we've got another ball. Going to make it a 3-1 count for the senior Abby Olson at the plate. Runners on first and third here. 2 outs. Pitch from Schanzenbach, knocked back into left field. Sorensen gets the glove on it and ends the Devil's Lake at bat. Excellent work there by Sorensen to get Shanley back on offense, and they don't give up any runs. That's a great inning for them on defense, not surrendering anything, only down by 1, and now they'll have an opportunity to tie it up and maybe even take the lead.
Yeah, that was fantastic. They made the plays that they're supposed to make. And made some good decisions with the baseball. They were aggressive defensively. I like it. That might be the best defensive inning I've seen from them so far this year.
Yeah, I think I would have to agree with that assessment, as now we look to see if they can put it all together and complement some very nice defense with some offense, because that's really been the thing. We've seen it isolated, good defense here, good offense there, but putting it together is the key. They are towards the end of the order, if I remember correctly. But if they can get through there, they'll be right back into that danger spot, back at the top with Linster, Sorensen, and Nelson.
I've been impressed with Devil's Lake, so far today. Taking a look, they're a young team too. One senior on the roster. It's impressive. They'll be good for years to come.
That's a good point. That's a very good point. They're very young, and it's worth noting 2 of their best players, Bridget Hartness, the catcher, and Jenna Fee, they are both freshmen. Both have 3 years after this year left in the program, and that's going to be something to watch as Kinley Kuhneman is at the plate right now. She made a good play defensively just a little bit ago, and now she's trying to do her damage on offense. And there she is practicing that bunt. That's what she wants, is she runs into it, and she gets her bat on it, and it goes foul, unfortunately for her. Good news for Shanley is regardless of what Kuhneman does here, they're right back to the top of the order with Linster, Sorensen, and Nelson.
She has pretty good form in this drag bunt that she's working on there. That's actually really well done.
Executed perfectly that time, and now I see why she's been practicing it so heavily.
Really well done. She did a good job of keeping the barrel of the bat level there, at least from, as far away as we are. It looked like she had it level and had her barrel aimed right towards where she wanted that. She found a hole and put it through there. Great job.
Linster going to let that one go.
That's kind of that piece we were talking about. You can practice it in the on-deck circle, but if you execute it effectively, there's not a lot the defense can do. Just not many people can do that. I think there's a very small percentage of players in Major League Baseball that still know how to bunt.
2-0 count here for Linster as she cracks this one into center field, and it's just off the glove that time as Kuhneman makes it to second. Linster makes it to first, and this is precisely what Shanley wanted. Center fielder Morgan Anderson that time, just not quite getting to that one. Or excuse me, I think that's Cassidy Sanderson.
Yeah, I'm glad to see she got up okay. She fell kind of awkwardly on that ball. Looks like she's all right.
So runners on first and second. No outs for the Deacons. Maria Sorensen at the plate. She lets that one go. And it's an 0-1 count to start. Oh, 2 now for Sorensen.
Devil's Lake plays one of the deepest outfields I think I have ever seen.
That is something I've noticed as well, Mr. Finch, is they're going to catch Kuhneman at third. So, still runners on first and second, but now an out for the Deacons. As up to the plate comes Gabby Nelson. And now they're playing far out in the outfield for good reason. Nelson is 2 for 2 with a home run and a triple. Not half bad.
The old adage is you can always run forward faster than you can run backwards. So, with Gabby Nelson up, definitely being 5 feet from the wall is probably not a bad idea.
I would agree with that assessment, as now it's a 2-0 count. You wouldn't blame them if they walked Nelson here, but at the same time, then you've got bases loaded with Maddie Remke coming up, and Remke truly, I think, is too good to just give her loaded bases like that.
I agree. Once you load them up, too, then, as a pitcher, you have to be perfect. There's no room for, obviously, walking another hitter, tie up the game. And that's what they do. They elect to just put her on base.
Well, I mean, you can certainly see the logic behind the decision. But like you said, it does put a lot of pressure on you now.
That is the non-intentional, intentional walk, if that makes any sense.
Sure. Remke pops that one up, and, well, there you go. Turns out to be a good decision, as that could have been bad.
A good heads-up play by the pitcher to pick up the runner on third, as the catcher came out for that ball, too. Devil's Lake didn't have anybody covering home plate.
Yeah, that is true. Harkness got caught up chasing the ball, didn't realize Johnson had it, and, ended up out of position. So now here's Callie Schanzenbach. She's looking at loaded bases, but also 2 outs. Schanzenbach loaded up that time. Ball got past the catcher, and Elena Linster's going to score to tie things up. Just like that.
And all of the Deacons move up 1 base.
So it's no longer loaded bases here for Schanzenbach, as it's a 1-0 count. Runners on second and third, and she'll foul this one back.
A great opportunity here for the Deacons to take the lead once again. That was definitely not her pitch. That one looked like it might have been up and outside. Not to be critical of an official, but from 270 feet away.
Well, At this point in the game, only one where we've disagreed. That's not half bad. That ball came in with heat into the stands. As Schanzenbach now has a 1-2 count, 2 outs, and she blasts this one into center field. It's going to drop in front of the center fielder. It's misplayed, and now it's going to be 2 girls home for the Deacons. Excuse me, that's going to be Sorensen and Nelson who score. It's an 8-6 lead for Shanley, and they have regained the lead after a long time playing from behind.
That's a nice base hit, and that's a tricky base running situation there on first, where when that throw comes through, you typically want to get to second base on that play, but you also don't want the ball to be cut off and you to be thrown out at second before that second run can cross home. So good decision there to be conservative and take the run and not risk making that out at second, as she's now there anyway.
Johnson low on the pitch, and Callie Schanzenbach will advance once again as the ball gets by the catcher once again, and that now has been responsible for a lot of damage in this inning in particular. Johnson high on that one for a ball. That one is true for a strike. Going to make it 3-1 now with 2 outs. Schanzenbach puts this one up high in the air and well foul. So she'll head back to the plate to keep swinging. Down the middle for a strike, and I don't know if everyone was sure of the count, but now they are as they run off the field to end the 4th inning. That's a strikeout, and that's number 2 for Abby Johnson.
Yeah, and again, it's difficult from this distance to tell what that was, but that pitch looked like it might have had some movement on it. It looked like it actually started outside and maybe broke back in. The batter reacted outside, and that looked like a true strike.
And so we'll start the 5th inning here in just a minute, but for now we're going to step away for a brief word from our sponsors. Don't go anywhere, folks. Plenty of softball coming up in just a minute.
This broadcast is presented by American Family Insurance, Ken Craft Agency, Bell Bank, Beyond Boundaries Therapy Services, Butler Machinery, Ed's Marine, the Fargo Jet Center, First International Bank and Trust, Forum Communications, Haley's Hope, Hurley's Religious Goods, Luther Family Buick GMC, Master Construction, Moore Engineering, Network Center, Northern Improvement, Off the Wall Advertising, Robert Gibb and Sons, Sanford, Shields, Taxman, TCI Insurance, and Wolf Steel Construction.
We're back to the action here at Cichy Stadium as we're starting the 5th inning. Low pitch from Schanzenbach for a ball, and that's ball number 1, and there was a strike before that. Came in just a little late with the ad there. As now this one's going to be knocked straight down into the ground. Gabby Nelson puts a foot on the base, and that's an easy out. No easy task retiring a batter like Krog Foss, but this Shanley defense seems to be getting better as the game goes on. Big swing that time. Schanzenbach gets Harkness to bite. Schanzenbach going well high that time. Not too hard for Harkness to read that pitch. Another strike for Schanzenbach. And this one's going to be knocked straight to Seafelt, or excuse me, that's actually Kuhneman they've got playing in there at second base. That looks like a change on the infield as you see the celebration between Nelson and Schanzenbach. And yeah, it looks like Kuhneman has moved in from center field. She's playing second, and Randy Jagger is now out in center. And there's a ball from Schanzenbach. Pitch number 2 is low, and it skates past Maddie Remke that time. This one going to be tough as it goes through the glove of Linster. Jagger does stop it at center, but it's a single for Abby Johnson, the pitcher. And that time, Shanley was close. Thought they might go 3 up, 3 down, but Abby Johnson breaks that opportunity as now she's on first. Still 2 outs, though.
Yeah, Jed, I was trying not to say anything. I didn't want to jinx it. I thought we were going 3 up and 3 down there, but that was a hard hit ball. Good effort by Linster to get there and try to knock that one down, but that ball was hit really, really hard up the middle.
Yeah, just a little too strong as it goes through the glove of Linster, and that time Abby Johnson took off, but it was tipped back, foul, didn't actually make it past. Good contact made. Linster's going to try and throw out at second, but yeah, that runner is safe. That's what it looked like from here, and that's a tough break for Shanley. I thought they were going to get someone. End up getting nobody, and now this is a good recovery so far from Devil's Lake after going down 2 outs early.
Once again, I mean, obviously that was a fielder's choice that didn't pan out, but that's another, fake bunt, full swing hit from Devil's Lake. It's interesting tactic.
Yeah, I mean, it's arguably been their best weapon so far. They've got Shanley with it a couple times now. As now Schanzenbach does get the strike down the middle. Schanzenbach with 3 strikeouts at this point in the game. Had quite a few more in that game against North as this one is knocked back and grabbed by Linster. Did she barehand that thing?
It looked like she might have gotten that in a bare hand and actually put her glove over the top of it. So great use of 2 hands, just kind of in reverse.
Yeah, excellent work by Linster. And, well, Schanzenbach doesn't need the strikeouts. Things are going well enough. Her defense is backing her up, and that's about the fastest at-bat we've seen for either team. That was pretty quick. It wasn't 3 up, 3 down like we were both thinking, but it was close to it. That's great for Shanley.
Well, I think it's it's that idea that sometimes you just need to allow the team to make some contact and give your fielders some opportunities to make some plays. And oftentimes whether it's baseball or softball, the most difficult play to make is the first one of the day. And when your fielders are standing in the outfield or the infield just waiting for that first play, it can be, after a while, that can be a little nerve-wracking. So when that ball starts rolling around and flying around, you get the opportunity to catch it and throw it a little bit. Nerves calm down, start playing looser, and I think we're seeing that from the Deacons now.
Certainly appears that way. And hey, folks, don't forget that you can connect with Shanley TV on social media, get the latest updates about Shanley sports teams, plus reminders about upcoming broadcasts. Like our Facebook page today at facebook.com/ShanleyTV. Follow us on Twitter at ShanleyTV, and follow us on Instagram, once again, at ShanleyTV. And we've had the Instagram page for about 3 years now, so I think I can finally take the "and now follow us on Instagram" out of my copy. Been having to read over that for a few years now. I think it's time to go. So it's Triggs at the plate to start things off for Shanley. As she lets that one go. Devils Lake looking for a better inning defensively here. Their last go of it was not great as Shanley retook the lead after trailing for quite a while. Low pitch from Johnson.
And it looks like, I'm not a trainer by any means, but it looks like the pitcher for Devils Lake might be hurting out there. I noticed on the last few pitches, she's swinging her arm back and forth. Something maybe to keep an eye on.
Well, she has a very kind of herky-jerky release as now it's going to be Triggs taking her base as that one went by. But, yeah, she's got a bit of a herky-jerky release. Looks like it might hurt more than your average softball pitching style, so I don't know if she maybe has more of a pitch count on her than most pitchers with maybe smoother motions, as this one is bunted up high in the air and gloved away. But, yeah, that is worth watching.
It's been interesting over the last couple games to look at some of the different strategies and pitching styles that have been on the mound. And, in this case, I noticed the arm and the delivery are sped up and slowed down. Like that one was a little bit, she took some off of that pitch, obviously. But it's been interesting to see that strategy in the pitching, from Fargo North where the ball came off the pitcher's shoe tops to, this is different arm speeds.
Absolutely. Kinley Kuhneman at the plate at the moment. 1 out for Shanley. She goes for the bunt, and it goes back up over her head. Harkness could not quite chase that one down. And that's going to be a strike and a strikeout for Kuhneman, and that's strikeout number 3 for Abby Johnson. And she and Callie Schanzenbach have 3 apiece. And already Shanley's back to that top of the order. Elena Linster at the plate, and she's going right back to business, but that one's actually going to go just foul. Still, though, very solid contact for Linster. Didn't have her best game against North, but this is much more, I think, what Shanley fans are used to. Certainly what I'm used to seeing from Elena Linster.
I think the one thing that's just truly evident watching the girls play out here is just how much fun they have. Again, I think we mentioned it in the Fargo North game. The smiles, and they're just really enjoying the sport. And I'd really encourage young people to come out and watch these girls play because it is a lot of fun.
I really could not agree more with you there, Mr. Finch. I've watched a lot of high school sports in my day as Linster fires that one in between center and left field. Great job exploiting the gap. And Triggs not going to quite make it home, but that's going to be a double for Linster. And great play. She's just batting so well. And just to finish your thought there, really, I just couldn't agree more. Of all the sports I've watched, I don't think anyone is quite as loose or relaxed as these girls are on the Shanley softball team. And I say that in a very complimentary way. It's not that I don't think they're taking it seriously. It's just that I think they do a good job of, seeing what's important and just, having fun with it. And that can really pay dividends in the way you play, too. I mean, we saw it against North. They never got in their own heads. They never, panicked or got frustrated and angry. When you stay that relaxed, it makes trying to come back from a tough spot a lot easier. And they did a good job fighting back in that game, as that's going to be a quick end to this inning. As that pop fly is gloved down, 4 and out by Abby Olson.
Yeah, getting back to the ball hit by Linster out to the wall, that might have actually been a case of hitting ball too hard. If that had rolled out there a little bit slower, we probably would have scored a run on that. But, hey, you're still going to take it. Great swing.
Yeah, certainly. It's a good point because already, even with that ball hit as hard as it was, it seemed like Triggs probably maybe could have made it home on that one. Hindsight's 20/20, but seemed like it might have been worth it to risk it. But yeah, it's a good point on that ball, as now we're looking at a 2-run lead for Shanley, headed into the top of the 6th inning. Man, defensively was really their best inning. in the top of the fifth. We'll see if they can do more of that here in the sixth. Certainly the fifth went by a lot faster than the first 3 or 4.
Yeah, it's amazing the pace of this game compared to the 2 games earlier this week for the Deacons. We're seeing more strikes, we're seeing more swinging, seeing more consistent fielding. Just a better all-around game tonight.
Most definitely, and where those earlier games this week took a while because of very long at-bats, very drawn-out defensive stands. This has been the length of this game has been added to primarily because of all the offense. We've got 14 runs scored between these two teams headed into the 6th inning, and it's just been a lot of time spent scoring, and that's what you want to see, at least as a fan. It's an entertaining brand of softball as Schanzenbach draws the big-time swing from Tiffany Robbins, the left fielder. Schanzenbach puts that one in the ground. Robbins doesn't have to think twice about swinging at that one. Takes a hack at it, catches a little piece, and goes foul. Wind up and the pitch from Schanzenbach. Robbins gets it down into left field. That's going to be a single from the sophomore outfielder.
Impressive at bat by Robbins there, too. And, as a 10th grader, she's got a couple more years to work on that swing, but impressive bat speed on that swing. And, it was mostly arms. So as she grows into that swing and starts to rotate through more, those balls they're going to start to leave the yard.
Despite giving up that hit, I really do feel like Schanzenbach is pitching noticeably better here as this one's popped up in the air and going foul. But certainly Schanzenbach seems to have more control, seems to be getting these batters to swing a little bit more. And that one will go for a ball, making it a 1-2 count. Another ball going to make it 2-2.
And that's good softball there. That's a pitcher's pitch. You're up in the count. Put it off the plate. See if you can get the batter to swing. Although Jenna Fee has not shown us that she will swing at a bad pitch. And that was not a bad pitch. That was an excellent pitch for strike 3.
Really nice work there. Very difficult batter to retire if you're Schanzenbach. Very difficult way to earn strikeout number 4, but she does. And great way to get the first out in the top of the 6th as that ball is fouled back. High ball from Schanzenbach makes it a 1-1 count with 1 out. Big swing that time, and it's like I said, Schanzenbach's really getting them to chase more of these balls.
Yeah, you get the feeling that she's feeling more confident out there, that she can hit spots that she's wanting to hit, getting ahead in the count, and then again using that opportunity to try to get Devils Lake to swing at some balls that are off the plate.
Sun's really come out now. It's 61 and sunny here at Cichy Stadium, and couldn't be happier about that. I'm sure the players feel the same way. If it means having to wear sunglasses in the outfield, I think they'd rather have that than have to wear parkas in the outfield, as we saw earlier. And quietly, that's another strikeout for Schanzenbach. Number 5, she's picked up 2 for the first 2 outs of this inning. And she is facing a tough batter in Abby Olson right now, the lone senior on this team. That pitch is going to bounce over the head of Remke, and that'll be an easy work for Tiffany Robbins to advance to second.
Not much that Remke can do on that one. I believe that ball hit the front of the plate and actually bounced up over her and the umpire.
Down the middle for a strike. Makes it a 3-1 count. This one's fouled back. Remke chases it. Could not quite get there. But now it's a full count with 2 outs. Devils Lake does need to feel some urgency here. Down 2. I mean, it's very manageable. They've still got the 7th inning. But it'd be really nice for them if they could close this gap a little bit. As this one's knocked up in the air. Gabby Nelson going to chase it. And it's just out of the reach of her glove. Olson stays alive. And that'll be a ball and a walk for Abby Olson. As now we're back to Carly Krogfoss, sophomore right fielder. Just outside for a ball from Schanzenbach. Krogfoss makes contact, but fouls it off left. Big swing that time on a high pitch. Makes it count 1-2. Evening things up now. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. That one fouled back off the umpire, it appears. And another ball. Long at bat here for Krogfoss as she does make contact on this one, but it's headed foul.
You know, Jed, this is a nice at bat here by Krogfoss, falling off a couple tough pitches there, staying with the pitch. You know, again, following that one off down the third base line. Just need one good pitch here to get out of the inning. There it is.
There it is indeed. That is strikeout number 3 in this inning. Callie Schanzenbach gets a strikeout for all 3 outs here. And that's what I've been talking about. That pitching has been getting better and better as the game has gone on. As now we head into the bottom of the 6th, still with a 2-run lead for Shanley. And with a little break, I want to do a segment that was started back 4 years ago by Lane Hallock, for those of you who remember him, a senior at the time and long since graduated, but Lane thought a great idea would be to do an On This Day in Sports History, and so we try to continue that sporadically. It makes it into a few broadcasts. And folks, on this day in sports history in 1936, Joe DiMaggio made his major league debut for the New York Yankees and accumulated 3 hits in that debut. How about it? Not a big surprise from Jolton Joe, effective from the start. Also in 1910, the Intercollegiate Athletic Association of the United States was renamed to the National Collegiate Athletic Association, better known as the NCAA.
I did not know that, Jed.
Neither did I. But now we do, and now you at home do as well. Great thing about Shanley TV. You watch a little sports, you learn a little bit. It's a good time. Just about ready to begin the bottom of the 6th here. That Shanley offense is back out there looking to add on to this lead. Gabby Nelson is 3 for 3 right now. She's going to look to continue that run as this one is sent way up into the air. And well over her own bench.
Well, Gabby seems to have a simple philosophy at the plate. It's swing hard and hit dingers. It's pretty much.
I would have to agree, Mr. Finch. That's about all there is to it. At least that's what it looks like to me. As that one's low for a ball. 2-1 the count now. Check the swing at the last second. Pulling up hard on that one, but it's a good job by Nelson. As now 3 balls and 1 strike, we might see the walk here, and that's what it will be. Gabby Nelson heads to first base. So that's a home run, the triple, and 2 walks now for Nelson. Remke, power shot way up in the air, not a lot of distance. The pop fly is grabbed, and Nelson stubbornly not wanting to go back to first, but she will.
Nelson testing Gemma Fee over there at third base.
Just having some fun out there.
And that's a good play, too. You take a couple steps off first, see if they throw it. Nelson can get back, but if that throw gets away, you take a base. Smart play.
Absolutely. Again, just the types of plays you try to make when you've got the kind of experience she does, as that ball's fouled back. And that's a ball to Schanzenbach. The pitcher versus pitcher duel. Schanzenbach fouls another back. One, 2 count, 1 out, and make that 2 outs as Schanzenbach takes a big swing, and Abby Johnson accumulates her 4th strikeout of the evening. Krista Schanzenbach is up to bat. We've got 2 outs and a runner on first. It's Gabby Nelson. Ball from Schanzenbach towering up in the air. Oh, and it's just over the head of the left fielder. And now Gabby Nelson's going to score. Schanzenbach will make it to third, and it is a 9-6 lead for Shanley. And that is the second time we've seen that happen to Tiffany Robbins, and I really think you might have the answer there, Mr. Finch. She is looking right into the sun when she's trying to track those balls.
Yeah, that's a tough play. That's one of those where you try to get your glove up to shade the sun. The sunglasses aren't going to save you on that one. Fortunately, the ball landed beside her.
And look at this. Pitch got away from the catcher, and Schanzenbach makes it home. So now it's a 10-6 lead for Shanley.
Good aggressive heads-up base running play there to score the 10th run.
And the Deacons got to be really happy with this. I mean, a 2-run lead, certainly happy to have the lead, but it's not a whole lot. And it just got a lot better for them as the inning will end with Fee grabbing that one down. But not before Shanley could add 2 more to their lead. Up 10-6 now. So it all comes down to this top of the 7th and this at-bat for Devil's Lake. They got to get at least 4 if they want to keep playing. We know they're capable of it. We know they're capable of getting runs in bunches, as they scored 5 in the 2nd inning, I believe it was, where they went off. Since then, though, just 1.
Yeah, the Deacons have really put the clamps down both defensively and through their fielding and their pitching, of course. They've been communicating well. From up in the box here, we definitely can hear the chatter on the field. And that's actually really helpful. I had a coach when I was younger that actually encouraged us to keep talking in the field, and he really believed that by doing so, you kept your mind in the game and baseball and softball is those are games where you have to make decisions before the play happens. So keeping your mind in the game by talking and communicating keeps you sharp. And when that ball comes to you, you have an idea of what you're going to do with it. So I've seen that a lot from the Deacons today. That's been good to see. Much more chatter than our previous broadcast on Tuesday.
Yeah, makes sense to me. My mind always wandered when I was in the outfield. I was never cut out to play baseball.
It's never too late, Jed.
Too much of a daydreamer out there. I'm meant to call it.
The world needs dreamers too, Jed.
So, Shanley breaks their huddle in the infield. They take their positions on defense, and they want to make this an early evening. No need to play the bottom of the 7th. They want to hold this lead, get home early for supper. It's the freshman, Bridget Harkness, at the plate, and that's a good start for Schanzenbach. Strike number 1.
I wondered, Jed, if they'd go to the closer, but we're going for the complete game.
That is correct. As now, could be out number 1 here, and it is. Great throw from Schanzenbach, great grab from Nelson, and that's 1 down.
Now at bat for the Firebirds, the pitcher, Abby Johnson.
Abby Johnson at the plate, and that's a strike for Schanzenbach. She is feeling it now.
Yeah, she looks really confident out there right now. She's letting it fly. She knows her defense is behind her. They've been picking her up most of the day.
And that's number 2 for Schanzenbach. Finding that groove, like you said, the building confidence. Johnson does make contact with this one. Nelson got to grab it. Well, not quite, though, as she got in a direct path with Johnson. And, I'm actually not really clear as to what the rule is there when the fielder and the runner kind of come into contact like that.
Typically there is a runner interference. She was directly in the baseline, though, so that is a difficult call. She has the right to that baseline. But if there was a collision there, I think theoretically she could have been out.
Well, that does not end up being the case. Didn't quite collide with Nelson, but that does not matter. Callie Schanzenbach having herself a heck of a finish to this game with strikeout number 7 unofficially. That's my count. But yeah, she is looking, this is her absolute best. At the beginning of the game, I said it would take a while for her to warm up. It did take a while, but boy, she is red hot at the moment. A ball on that pitch makes it 1-0 here with 2 outs. This one knocked straight to Gabby Nelson, and call it a game. 10-6 to close it out. That's what Shanley walks away with the win with. 4-run victory. And how about it? Really up and down sort of game. Deacons came out really strong, took a lead early, then Devils Lake exploded for 5 runs. It looked like we could have almost a runaway sort of game with the Firebirds running away with it, but that was not the case. Shanley battles back. It was close for the majority, but the Deacons, just the team that finished stronger today.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, Jed. And Devils Lake was impressive. Young team, some highly skilled players on that team. But today was the best game that I've seen the Deacon Varsity put together.
Yeah, no doubt about it. The offense definitely playing their best that I've seen, cracking that double-digit mark. Gabby Nelson had a heck of a game. Elena Linster, too, was unbelievable for that Shanley offense. And Callie Schanzenbach struggled early, but boy, she came a long way. From that first inning to the 7th inning, almost a totally different pitcher. She was nothing short of dominant in the 6th and the 7th.
Yeah, it's watching the Deacons play, you start to almost in a sense take for granted how talented these girls are. And when a Gabby or a Linster comes up, you're just expecting hits and loud hits. And that's a compliment. That's talent. And the Deacons have a lot of talent this year.
Absolutely. Firebirds, no short of talent there, but it's just Shanley who comes out on top this evening. Great back and forth, great game. Deacons come away with the win. And that will do it for us this week and for this game. We do have soccer next Tuesday coming up for you, along with, I think, softball that Friday as well. So be sure to stick around. A few more games left in this spring sports season. For tonight, though, for Mr. Finch and for our entire crew, I'm Jed Thomas. Your final score from Fargo, Shanley Deacons 10, Devils Lake Firebirds 6. To watch the archived version of this entire game and our other broadcasts, go to shanleytv.com. The proceeding has been a presentation of Shanley TV.